And in other news, national flag carrier Kenya Airways now says that it is in the process of scouting for a strategic investor who will pump in money and help the airline finance Project Kifaru, the airline's 3-year-long post-COVID-19 turnaround project, which kicked off in February 2022. This is the latest development around efforts to turn around the airline, whose top management has committed to bounce back to profitability in 2024. NTV's Brian George Otieno explains.
2 months after the National Treasury indicated that there would be no further taxpayer capital injection into Kenya Airways, the national flag carrier says it has kicked off the process of identifying a strategic investor who will inject capital and prop the business. The airline's Chief Executive Officer, Alan Kilavuka, has told the National Assembly Committee on Public Debt that he has already kicked off the identification exercise and should be able to conclude by December this year. Kilavuka says that this move is necessary given the challenges that the aviation sector is confronting from the global shocks.
There's a marriage of issues that we need to do, which I have laid out: cost reduction, culture change, capital restructuring, efficiency, routing. There are quite a number of things. If you do one and not the other, it will not work. So there's a number of things that we need to do. It's not one or two things, and that is what is laid out under Project Kifaru.
In the full year ended December 2022, Kenya Airways managed to trim its operating loss by 17.6% to 5.6 billion shillings. The airline says that partnerships with other African airlines to form the Pan-African Airline Alliance is one of the routes it's taking to realize the strategic targeted goal of profitability by 2024.
Why is this one important? It is important because it provides alternatives. It provides different hubs. So, for example, in the case of South Africa, it will provide for us a hub in Johannesburg and in Nairobi, and we're looking for one in West Africa, so that it has a 3-hub strategy to cover the whole continent. That way you can share assets. So if we have, for example, in our case, we have 36 aircraft. South Africans are looking for 20 aircraft. So all of a sudden now you have 50. Now, instead of buying new aircraft, you already have 50. Hopefully you can get a few others from West Africa. In fact, that proposal becomes a lot more attractive to a strategic partner.
Though leading a heavily indebted airline that's struggling to fly, Kilavuka has advised against the option of rounding up KQ like Saudi government opted to form Riyadh Airways. Instead of government support, KQ will be going for strategic equity investment as it is equally undercapitalized under the ambitious 3-year Project Kifaru turnaround plan. Brian George Otieno, NTV, Nairobi.